Hello, welcome to my house and welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Cepeda and today I'm going to show you how you can make this vest. In this case I made this vest for a boy. I made it for my grandson. I will give you all my secrets and tips. I will show you how you are going to calculate it if you want to make it in a larger size in case you want to make this vest for an adult. I will show you how you can make the stitch, how you can make the elastic, and how you can make it in the easiest way. But well, remember that before we start, I invite all of you to subscribe. Thank you. Well, I will make this vest for a boy in a size number 7 or 8 years, okay? I will use this material, it's between medium and bulky, between number 4 and 5. I will make it in 2 threads. I will take 2 threads together. I will make it in gray and I will use the needles of number 5. Okay, first I will show you how you are going to cast on the stitches. I know that there are a lot of different ways, but to me this is the easiest way because like this you won't waste any material. Okay, so you will use the exact material that you need. So this is how I cast on the stitches. As you could see, I take one with the needle. Please be careful to take both threads together, and I take them back to the first needle. I always suggest that you first make a sample, and with a blouse or with a t-shirt, with a sweater of the person that you are going to make this vest for, you can calculate the exact number of stitches that you need. Here I will share a video of how I calculate the stitches to make this vest for my grandson, okay? Like this I will continue casting on the stitches. I will cast on at the end 62 stitches, okay? But if you follow the technique that I will show you, you will see that you will have the exact number and that you will have your garment perfect, okay? So here I will share some secrets. But well, like this is how I will cast on all my stitches until I have 62. Well, so here we are, okay? This is one of my t-shirts. Imagine that you are going to make this vest for an adult. I made this sample with 20, you can make it with 20 or 30 stitches. In this case, I made 20 stitches. I made 12 rows with elastic. And I'm making the sample with the exact yarn and with the needles that I will use. So here I have this t-shirt of an adult. So I will take the sample that I made and I will count. I will place it like this. So from side to side I will count how many stitches do I need. For example, here I have 20. Then let me mark or use something to point it out that here we have 20. Then after this 20 we will have 40, then let's move, then we will have 60, right? So we will need approximately like 2, 4 and 6, okay? So we are going to need 66 stitches. Okay, so like this is how we are going to calculate the width of the vest that we want to make according to the exact size of the person that we are making this vest for. I love to share and to teach this technique because with this technique you will have the exact number of stitches that you need. Sometimes you ask me how many stitches do you need for that size, but remember that each person is different and each person also needs different. So I don't know, sometimes it depends on the yarn that you are going to use, and I don't know the yarn that you are going to use. So to me this is the easiest way to know and to calculate the stitches. It's not only if you are going to knit, if you are going to crochet also. I suggest that you make this experiment, and like this you will know exactly how many stitches do you need, because remember that we all need different. Okay, so let's continue. Let's imagine that you already have all your stitches that you need. In this case I'm making the sample, okay? So now we already cast on. Now like this is the first ever row. We are going to knit the first stitch, but in the coming rows we are going to pass it through. Okay, so we are going to start making the elastic. So the elastic means that we are going to we are going to knit 2 and we are going to pour 2. To knit, we will have the thread behind, right? So we are going to knit 2, and to pour, we are going to place the thread in front, and like this it means that we are going to pour. Well, at the end of the row we are going to turn around, and now we are going to take the first stitch without knitting. As I told you, let's just organize here. So we will take the first stitch and we are going to continue making the elastic. And we are going to continue with the stitch as it goes, okay? This means that we have this thread here, so we are going to pour. This means that we are going to pour. As you could see, down we don't have any thread in front, so this means that we knit in the last row, so we are going to continue as it goes. Where we pour, we are going to pour, and where we knit, we are going to knit. Like this, we are going to continue until we get the length of the elastic that we want. In this case, remember I told you I made 12 rows of elastic. Okay, so like this is how I'm going to continue, and see you at the end of the rows that you need. Remember that I will make 12. Okay, so imagine that here we have our 12 rows, okay, because I want to continue with this stitch. So once you are going to count like this, your rows until you have 12, okay? Some people knit elastic with a smaller number, but in my case I decided that I will knit this and the whole project with the needles of number 5. Sometimes we change the number because sometimes we need more loose. So if you need to loose, I suggest that the elastic you make it with a smaller size. But well, once you are sure that you like the elastic and you have the rows that you need, we are going to continue with the stitch. Well, it is important that when you are about to start, you always have these threads in the right side. So like this, you will know where you start and where you finish the row. Okay, so you must have always these threads before we start in this size. So also this means that this is the right side. And now for this stitch, we are going to knit 1 and purl 1. Knit 1 and purl 1. And like this is how we are going to continue the whole row. Now here, as you could see, the stitch changed a little bit. Now we are not following the path of the last rows that we made because those were the elastic. So we are changing here. I want to finish this row with you so we can review and you can see how it is. Okay, so we are going to purl 1 and knit 1. We are going to look that the last one always be pour. It doesn't matter if you have to knit right there. We are always going to pour the last stitch, right? So well, now we are going to start with a new row and we are going to make as it goes. First, we are going to take the first stitch. As you could see here, we knit the last one. So again, we will knit, and here we pour. So it means that we are going to pour again. So like this, we are going to continue following what we made in the last row. Remember that we are going to finish making a pour. And well, counting this row, we have 2 rows, right? I want to finish this row with you because we are going, after these 2 rows, we are going to change a little bit. So 2 rows will be the same, and then for 2 rows we are going to chain. Remember that we are going to pour at the end always. Now turn around, here we finish the second row, and remember that I told you to pay attention here where we have these 2 threads. Well, when we are here, this means that we are going to change, right? So here is where we are going to make this row different. We are going to pass the first stitch the same. Here it means that we knit in the last row, so now in this row we are going to pour. Here we pour, now we are going to knit. So we are going to change. Where we knit, now we are going to pour, and when we pour, we are going to knit now. So like this, we are going to continue making this row and the next row. So we are going to make 2 rows in total, right? And again, we are going to arrive after these 2 rows where we have the thread. So this means that we have to change again. So like this, each 2 rows, we are going to change the path of the stitch, right? And well, here remember, the last one we are always going to pour. Now turn around, and like we don't have the thread in this side, it means that we are going to follow what we made in the last row. So like this, we are going to continue changing each 2 rows, making more rows. I will tell you exactly how many I made, just give me a second. Remember that this is just a sample. And here where we have the thread, we are always going to change the path of the stitch. So let me show you how many rows I made and how it looks. Okay, so here I have the rows that I need. We are going to stop until we arrive a little bit under the armhole, okay? Because remember that from here we are going to make just few rows more and then we will reduce. I will show you. Well, remember here so far that we are going to change the path of the row once we have these threads here, okay? So please don't lose that in mind. And where we don't have these threads, it means that we are going to repeat what we made in the last row, right? So now I will tell you how many centimeters do I have taking into account the elastic, but remember that every person is different, so please try on in the person that you are making this best for. In this case I have 30 centimeters. First I will reduce 4 stitches each side, then I will reduce 2, then 1 and 1, okay? So the way that we are going to reduce is that we are going to bind off some stitches, okay? So I will show you how we are going to bind off and well reduce these stitches. So we are going to take 2 stitches together, we are going to like kind of knit them, okay? And then the stitch that we take, we are going to take it back to the first needle again. So here we have reduced only 1. Be careful, take 2 threads with you, okay? So here we reduce 2, then again we will take 2 together and we are going to come back this stitch with 1. So here we reduce 3, and then let's bind off the last 2 and we will come back with 1. So here we have reduced 4 and we are going to reduce 4 in the other side too, and we arrive here. Well, look, I finished the row and at the end I also reduced 4, okay? So I make the same in the other side too. Now here I'm in the next row where I'm going to reduce 2 each side. So I will make the same. Remember here we are only going to reduce 2. Well, here I already finished. I bind off 4 in this side and 4 in the other side. Then I bind off 2 and I bind off 2 in the other side too. And now we are going to bind off 1 here and 1 in the other side too, okay? And then in the next row also we are going to reduce 1. So in total, let's make the counting. We are going to reduce 8, okay? 4, then we reduce 2, there we have 6, and then we reduce 1, and in the next row again we reduce 1. So right there we have the 8 stitches that we are going to reduce to make the armhole, okay? So let me finish to reducing these 8 stitches. Well, so here I finish, right? 4, then 2, then 1, 1, and 1. So here in total we reduce 8 stitches. Well, like this piece, we are going to make a second piece exactly the same. For the back, we are going to continue straight until we arrive to the shoulders, right? And for the front, it will change a little bit. So remember, we are going to start exactly the same with the same number of stitches, the same number of rows. Also, we are going to reduce the same number of stitches for the armhole and everything. So when we arrive here, see you to teach you how we are going to divide to make the neckline. Because here we are going to reduce exactly the half and we are going to make both pieces apart. But for now, let's have these two pieces ready. Okay, so this is the back. From where we reduce to the top, I have 22 centimeters. But please try on, remember that each person is different. But well, here I have this piece. This will be the front. I already reduced the armhole, so here I am. Now we are going to divide exactly in the half, and we are going to start to reduce because here we are going to make a V-neck. The side of the armhole we are going to continue straight, okay? I finished having 47 stitches. So here I divide 23 one side and 23 the other side, and here the stitch that I have missed is the one that has the marker. And from here we are going to knit apart, okay? So first one side and then the other side, and we are going to repeat exactly the same what we make in one side and in the other. And look, this is how we are going to reduce. Once we are about 2 stitches before we arrive to where the marker is, we are going to reduce. Here we knit. Now it means that we are going to pour, and we are going to take 2 stitches together to reduce and transform this into one. We are going to repeat this and reduce this only where the neckline will be. Now the stitch of the marker we are going to finish always making port, remember. Now turn around, and we'll also guess what? Remember that we are continue making the same stitch. So remember that we have to take into account where we have the 2 threads. It means that we are going to change the stitch. Remember this rule? So where we knit we are going to pour, and where we pour we are going to knit, okay? And remember that at the end of this row we are going to continue straight, and then when we came back and also we arrive where the marker is, right there is where we are going to reduce again. Remember that we are going to reduce 2 stitches before we arrive to the marker. So again, right there we are going to reduce 1. And well, remember, where we have the armhole, there we won't reduce, there we will continue straight, and where we have the inside here, the neck is where we are going to reduce. Like this, following this row, we are going to continue making more rows, and well, we are going to continue until we have this wide for the strap, until we arrive to the same height of the back, okay? So we are going to stop until we have the same height of the back and in the front too, okay? So see you there. Remember, we are going to make the front in 2 pieces. I want to show you just quick how beautiful it's looking. Here I'm reducing, here I continue straight, and here I have the strap. So I think that the strap is perfect. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 stitches for the strap, and from here I'm going to continue straight until I arrive to the back. I'm loving it. Remember that we are going to make the same in the other side too. Here I just leave these stitches in hold, and I'm going to repeat what I made here. I'm going to repeat it in the other side too. Well, once we finish to make these 2 pieces, we are going to sew the shoulders, and then I will show you how we are going to make the last steps for the armhole and for the neck too. Well, here I have 2 pieces ready. I love how it looks. So now we are going to sew. We are going to use the embroidery needle and the same yarn to sew, okay? So here is where we are going to join where the shoulders are. And for now we are going to leave the sides open. We are going to only sew the shoulders, okay? So we are going to make the invisible stitch. It means that we are going to take 1 stitch from here and 1 stitch from the other side. Remember that we are going to go in order. Please don't skip any stitch, and like this is how we are going to sew. We are going to repeat the same in the other shoulder too. You see, like this is how we are going to continue. And remember, we are only going to sew the shoulders. And well, I ask you to leave this side open and only join the shoulders, because here we are going to make a special stitch for the armhole. If you want, it's optional, okay? But I will show you in case that you want to make it. we are going to use the hook to cast on the stitches in the needle, okay? So we are going to open like this. We are going to cast on first in the sides. We are going to start right in the corner. We are going to use the same hook and everything. So here we are going to take the stitch. We are going to make a knot, and with our hook we are going to leave and hold the stitches right there, and later we are going to pass it to the needle. Okay, so we are going to place the needle right here, and like this, with the help of the hook or with the needle if you want, you are going to go in order and take stitch by stitch like this. Or if you use the hook, well, you are going to take it with the hook and then pass it through the needle, okay? Both steps are optional, like you want, like the way you find easier. So like this, we are going to continue taking one stitch until we arrive to the other corner too, okay? So when we arrive there, see you. And remember that we are only going to take the stitches of the armhole, okay? Until we arrive to the corner, not the sides, until here, okay? I will count how many stitches do I have at the end in the needle, so you can have the same number in the other armhole too, okay? So both armholes should be the same and should have the same number. So see you there. Well, here I already count and I have 56 stitches in this side, so it means that we must have in the other in the other armhole, we must have 56 stitches. I think that here I'm going to make this stitch, the elastic stitch, also here. I'm going to make less rows, approximately 5 rows. And I'm going to make the same in the other armhole too. Remember, we are going to knit 2 and pour 2, knit 2 and pour 2, and we are going to make the next rows as it goes. So look, at the end I made 6 rows with this stitch, with the elastic stitch, and I will make the same in the other side too. Now I will bind off and I will make the same in the other armhole. Once we finish to make the armholes, we are ready to join, okay? But well, let me show you how we are going to make the neck. Okay, look, I already pinned off, so once you have both pieces ready, you are ready to sew the sides too. But well, if you want, before you join, I suggest that you make the neck. We are going to make the same rows and the same stitch here. So we are going to cast on the stitches here in the neck. First I cast on the first half of the neck, and then the second half of the neck. I use the hook too, and I make the same stitch, the elastic stitch, and I count the same number of stitches in one side than in the other. And this was the result. I make the same also here in the armhole, and now I have both pieces ready. I'm ready to sew. I used the same technique, and I'm going to sew this part too. Okay, you will decide. You are going to fold it like this, and we are going to sew it. So if you want, you can sew from here to here this first part, and then we can sew the rest. And we are going to sew the same here, okay? And with this we finish. I hope that you have found this idea so easy. At the end we are going to iron using a protection under, okay? And remember that I gave you all my secrets and tips so you can make this vest in all sizes, okay? I made this for my grandson, but you can make it for yourself or an adult to sell. I don't know, you can make it in different ways. At the end here I feel the neck it was too wide, so I made 1 row of single crochet and I reduced some spaces to close a little bit more the neck. But well, I hope that you liked this video. Please, if you did, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to leave me a comment. I appreciate that you take the time to watch and to make this video with me. Thank you so much and see you soon. Bye bye.